Ça marche. Okay. Hey guys, my name is Elizabeth, and today I want to share my story with you. I want to share my story for many reasons. Um, One, because it's long overdue. I got saved 3 years ago, and one of the things I posted on my Facebook platform some months after becoming saved was that I would share my testimony. Um, yeah, because I think this is a very important step in the life of every believer to just recount what God has done in their lives. And so I guess this video serves one as that. Two, I am very, I guess, logical, and I love activism. I love engaging with different ideas, like philosophically. I can never say that word, philosophically. Just different ideas, I guess, in the social sphere. I love engaging with them and giving my two pence. So perhaps this video also serves for this reason. And thirdly, this video also serves because in the I guess plight of this conversion therapy movement, um, there was a call for people to give their stories regarding their experiences with conversion therapy, and I guess this video also is me giving my story about conversion therapy, and I'm here to do that. So I'm looking at the definition, where conversion therapy is the idea that someone can change their identity, usually sexual identity or gender identity, really from, they would say, generally homosexual to heterosexual, and from transgender, I think, to cisgender. And this is the definition that I've seen everywhere for what conversion therapy is. But I guess, in one sense, every Christian has been through conversion therapy, because even if our fight pre conversion wasn't with gender or wasn't really with sexual things, necessarily, our lives were converted, our very souls were converted. The Bible talks about being transformed, and brought from the kingdom of darkness into the kingdom of light. And so every Christian goes through this spiritual transformation and this spiritual conversion. And so I think this this phrase, conversion therapy, is utilizing the most beautiful and transformative thing that can go on really in anybody's life, which is meeting and knowing the Lord Jesus Christ. And this is what we know in Christendom as conversion. And so already I have a problem with this term conversion therapy, because it denotes something bad by utilizing this word conversion just on face value. I have a problem with this term, because I think, one, why does conversion always have to, like, in this sphere of debate, why is conversion seen as something bad? I want to make this first argument, that why is conversion from one realm to another? Um, I mean this to say, why is converting from a cisgender to a transgender? And I know you guys will say, well, it's not really a kind of conversion. You were always, you were born transgender. But I guess if I grow up and I don't recognize this self conflict, let's say, of I was actually born a man. Let's say I grew up comfortable in being a female, and in college I start to see and start to hear about all these different terms, and I start realizing actually, I'm a man. Why is this conversion okay, but the reverse is wrong? I think if you argue that conversion, the reverse conversion is wrong, then I would argue all conversion is wrong in that sense. So I think it's a very faulty argument that you can convert from one way to the other, but the other way is wrong. So that's just one point that I kind of want to make and maybe address to people who are against conversion therapy. I want to share my story of conversion therapy and why I am not an advocate. I can't say I'm an advocate for conversion therapy because, you know, again, people who are anti conversion therapy will use all these extreme cases to define what conversion therapy is, which is honestly is wrong. Um, because we know right now the standing definition of conversion therapy is anything that starts from praying for someone who comes to you saying that they feel like they don't want these conflicts, these inner conflicts regarding sexual things, regarding gender identity. If they come to you, it starts with prayer and ends with any kind of extreme, of course, that we are all against. Um, Aggressive, violent acts of, trying to change someone. But the fact that it starts with prayer is something that I'm against because I am all for prayer. And not only am I all for prayer, I am all for the transformative power of the gospel. And actually, inherently, the gospel is transformative. We can't sit here and discuss conversion therapy if we do not define what we mean by conversion therapy. And so, this is why I say in my title that I am a survivor of conversion therapy because I've been changed, my desires have changed, my personhood has changed, my identity has changed and transformed in Jesus Christ. So, I grew up, and I guess I had a kind of harder childhood. I faced a lot of trauma in my childhood, and so from a young age, from the age of about 10, 11, 12, I started watching porn. And actually, a lot of the porn I was watching was gay porn. I was young. I remember, I think, being cognizant of it more at the age of 14, but not understanding, why I was, I guess, watching this genre. Um, and so, as time went, during this time, and I guess more as time went on, I had always kind of felt more comfortable dressing like a tomboy. I was never a girly girl. My sister was, the girl's girl. But I battled with a lot of self esteem issues and weight issues. And I guess my comfortability was always found in just tomboy outfits about sport or kind of sporty looks, um, never drawing any attention to maybe in the time of puberty, like bodily changes and stuff like this, and never ever wearing pink. Um, and I was in a time where I hated my femininity. I hated, things that made me vulnerable. I hated aspects of my girliness, and I actually used to grimace, grimace, grimace at, you know, whenever, let's say, I was categorized with the girls or something, I would hate because it disgusted me because I did not feel female. Um, and so battling, let's say, on one side, the kind of gender identity and just being a tomboy, and like I felt comfortable when people called me a tomboy, so I didn't have to say it. It was like you categorized me. I don't have to say it now. And also on the other side, like really being attracted to um, a kind of homosexual lifestyle, in the sense that I started watching um, pornography that was homosexual. Yeah, so this, let's say in my preteen years, this was going on. Um, and I guess even in secondary school, I did have two boyfriends. And I always remember feeling, because my two boyfriends that I had were both black. And I remember and I went to school in a town that was, majority of people were white. And I remember always feeling left out in my friendship group, when all the white guys were attracted to everybody but me, all the white girls in my group but me. And the only guys that I got or I was with were literally the only two black guys in the whole year of over 100 students. Um, and so I really battled with identity issues. I really battled with kind of exploring, who I was on many different spheres. Like the sphere of color, like being a black girl in a predominantly white school and town, to battling this grasp of comprehension of, what I'm attracted to. Because I do remember, like, looking at females and really thinking they're pretty, and feeling a kind of, and I went to an all girls school in primary school, so feeling sometimes a closeness with girls in my class sometimes, but never having any sexual contact with them. And then I guess, yeah, so the sphere of race and ethnicity, the sphere of sexual identity, and then three, the sphere of just gender identity, of like really feeling like a man within my all girl primary school, and even understanding my place as a woman when I got to a secondary school that was co-ed, so both with boys and girls. So three spheres of just like battle. I was gonna say battlement, but that's not a word. Of just battle, And I guess when I got to college, you're gonna hear the phrase "I guess" so many times in this video. When I got to college, I actually moved out of home. I went to college some hours away from where I grew up, and in college was where I, as a lot of people say, found themselves. I was the leader of the Africa Society on campus. I started feeling more sexually liberal, um, not really in the sense of promiscuity, but more in the sense of I am free to do what I think I can do. So it was more of a mental freedom than like actually acting it out physically. And also, yeah, in the sense of seeing more LGBT groups and representations on campus, and exploring that, I guess, mentally more. So this was really the years of, yeah, like soul searching. So in college, I found this new awareness of self that I never had. I understood that I was getting much more attention from, I can't say both sexes, I would say from more male attention. And definitely this did something to me. This made me feel powerful and made me embrace my femininity more. If you see, I will try actually put like a picture, but if you see the difference between the way I dressed in college and the way I dressed in secondary school, there was a very big difference. And I think it showed where I was mentally. It showed how I saw, it showed how I was, my perception of gender, and how myself perceived gender identity, I would say. So I started dressing differently and embracing my, I guess, sexual prowess, or just this inner, like, I feel like this inner liberation. And I guess it was in college where I started to explore more the possibility of same sex relations, where I was more open to look at women and actually bring to the forefront this desire that I had to experiment with women. And actually, I just want to say that to anyone here, like listening to this, who battles gender confusion, that I was there, like I was there, and I completely understand. I understand what it feels like not feeling feminine enough, what it feels like to even be rejected by male attention, and to find comfort with women. But I just want to pose a question, that what if it didn't have to be so? And what if, gender transition is not the only way out? So I guess next would be that after university, after traveling a lot and really embracing this power, this pride of like I am just being defined by sexuality, I guess, and feeling powerful in that. I came to know the Lord after I graduated from university, after traveling, after identity issues, after trying and searching to find a fulfillment of self within so many things. I met the Lord, and the thing with conversion therapy is that they tell you, that you can come with all these problems, and they won't tell you their problems. They will tell you that it's just your identity. But the struggle you face, and I know the struggle I faced. But they will tell you that you can come with all these things, and well, you will never get rid of them because it's all fake. But how can I sit here and make this video to tell you a lie? I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I came to know God and that everything in my life is perfect and I just know everything about myself and I'm so self-aware and I don't struggle with any self-identity issues. It's not the case. But what is the case is that I came to know the Lord, and He became this fountain, this well in my life that overflows so much joy and so much like life. How about I don't have to look into myself for identity, and I don't have to self identify myself, but I look to him as my identity, and I like he identifies me. Oh, what a beautiful thing that there is no more confusion because I know one who knows me because he created me. And so I'm here today to tell you that conversion therapy changed my life. That I didn't end up going to a pastor or counselor or health service to change me, but really the gospel of Jesus Christ changed me. The gospel of Jesus Christ allowed me to seek wisdom on what actually is gender, what is femininity, what is masculinity, what does even being feminine mean, like what is everything, like what is life, I guess. It really is this big question of what is life, and everything flows from there. And when you understand who Christ is, a lot of things change. And so I'm here to tell you that life can be so much more simple than what you are being fed by these activists and blogs and groups about understanding identity. They can never tell you because they don't even know their identity. How can you find your identity from someone who doesn't even know their identity? It's the blind leading the blind in that sense. Um, I am not an advocate. Again, I mentioned this for aggressive, for violent, for compulsive, for coercive forms of conversion therapy. But I stand for those who want to seek change in all manners of life. Like we can change from anything, you know? As in the same way I can change from a female to a male in this time and era should be the same way if you want to seek help regarding your identity, regarding your sexual identity and both gender, that you can seek prayer, you can seek what the gospel can do. I am not telling you that the gospel will save you from being homosexual to heterosexual. That is not, if you think this is the power of the gospel, then you limit greatly the power of the gospel. I want to propose to you the idea that the gospel can change your whole being. Do not limit it to just your sexual or gender identity. It can change your life. And I am one who has tasted and has come back to tell you that, yo, I got food from this place. If you're hungry, you best get food from the same place. Um, so I want to keep this short, but I also want to call for anybody else who has experienced conversion therapy and are a positive survivor of this. You are here to say, I have been converted. My life has changed and I will never look back. Please send me your letters, send me an email, send me your story to the email address lettersfortruth@gmail.com. I would love to share your story with others, and that this way we can spread a positive message of the power of the gospel and really the power God can use through various means on this earth to change and transform people's lives. So, yeah, I hope I was clear and I wasn't stuttering too much. And yeah, you understood exactly what I was trying to portray. I pray that you guys, hear and are blessed, and you know that you don't have to be a way that you don't want to be. You don't have to listen to them and accept that this is just what you are born with. That's kind of it from me. Have a wonderful day and bye bye.